Hey, good morning, Barbara. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Hey, God, still trying to talk here this morning. I got a little frog in my throat. Let me get my video on. There
I
we
was wondering how
go.
you were feeling.
All right, video going. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm really living the stop waiting, start living lifestyle because I woke up this morning. I'm like, oh dang, I got to get going. I got an 8 o'clock with Barbara. Oh my gosh. All right, are you able to? You should
I
be
was
able
just
to.
trying to figure out how in the world I do that because I don't have the. There it is.
I just
Hey,
invited you to video. All right, so let me.
we
Woohoo!
must have coordinated because we're both wearing white.
Well, my volume on my phone is like for shit right now, so let me try to put that up.
There we go.
I don't know. All right, technical difficulties this morning. Here we. Oops. I made it quieter instead of softer. Okay. All right. We got this going. We got this going. All right. So I'm going to edit the fortune cookie. You know that did you have you set up a channel on this yet, Barbara Ann?
I actually have not yet, in the sense other than just being on Fireside and being able to listen. Only because I haven't decided if I really, what my channel would be yet. So I'm just kind of floating right now, just like letting the ideas come. It's like, what could I do on Fireside that would help a lot of people?
Well,
So
I'm all about okay, well we're just going to start this. And and I'm working to see how it's going to go. I mean, I like the concept and again, you don't know until you know. I don't know.
yeah, and you're right in that. And so sometimes it's like, where do you start? It's like, how do you just jump in and build the frickin' plane as it's going down? So you can soar later. And that's the beauty too. You can always change what you're doing. You don't have to just go, oh my God, this is my lane. It's a highway. You can change lanes.
Oh my God, that is such a great analogy because I just heard this. All right, I want to make sure I have your website. It's gracefulwarrior.com.
GracefulWarriorCoaching.com.
Coaching. Oh, see, I almost forgot the coaching. I like to put that in the notes so that if people want to get a hold of you, they can. Did you know you can change up? It's called the fortune cookie. So now if you look at the scrolling,
Mhm.
you can change it up to whatever you want. So that's really pretty cool. All right, let me send out I'm broadcasting to the world. And let me share with my followers that we're in the studio. I got 213 followers. Well, I'm going to select all and invite all 213. Woohoo! Look at that. All right, well, we're going to see who's going to show up with us this morning. I think I finally got my shit together here this morning. So, oh,
Some days it takes longer than others, let me tell you.
yes, it does. And I don't know why my phone keeps doing this, but I must be hitting some button because every time I touch something on my phone, it goes to like emergency shutdown and then it has me put my code again. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Friday. It's Easter Friday. So happy Easter, everyone. Hey, David, welcome. I'm going to invite David to speak, invite David to video because I'm all about the more the merrier. Having some things. Wait, I have a special treat, Barbara. You didn't think you'd get away without me?
Of course not. I was actually surprised it wasn't on when I got on here earlier.
You're not. The Easter Bunny. Happy Easter, everyone. Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
Oh, I love you so much.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Well, listen, I would have been on if I had been a little bit more prepared, right? But here's the honest to God truth. I have a full bore on costume. That's me. I just love to have fun and I love to bring light to everybody. And those darn costumes, though, like they get hot in there, right? And then I have to practically scream. And the fact that I'm just getting over being sick this week and I could tell I'm still a little hoarse. And I spoke a lot yesterday. And so I'm like, well, I don't really want to be screaming through a rabbit's head and like lose my voice for the weekend. I'm like, okay, let's be smart about this, Julie Jones. Let's be smart. Oh my gosh. Well, we are going into Easter weekend. It is Friday. So, Barbara Ann, what do you got going on this weekend? Tell us about it. I mean, the premise of the show, Stop Waiting, Start Living. What are you doing to live full out this weekend?
Well, as weird as it is, because it is spring break for the kiddo, we actually don't have much planned. Easter is just kind of another weekend for us, other than the sense of, oh, it's the Easter weekend. Yet, it's like all of the stuff that we plan on the weekends, we used to plan. We used to like have weekends they never kind of worked out the way we wanted it. So we just started living spontaneously. We all kind of have our own separate lives because my daughter is an artist. So she likes to just kind of hang out and draw. And of course, I love to read. So I'm hanging out reading. Of course, the weather's getting nice here. So I can step out onto my back deck and be like, and read in peace, because then they can have the house and do whatever they want. But he's been working more. And so we're really just kind of like, what are you in the mood? Because all of us seem to all of a sudden need a little bit more quiet time than we've ever needed before. We just don't want to be on top of each other all of the time. So we all kind of have this groove where we just kind of come together and we go apart. And we come together, which is great for us. Not everybody works that way. And that's okay too. It works for us. So we may end up spur of the moment. One of them will go, let's go do this. And we just drop everything and go. So it's really a blessing that I never thought would be in our lives, where we just pick up and go wherever we want, whenever we want, how we want.
Well, you know what I love about that is it's like saying yes to spontaneity, right? Like saying yes to life opportunities, because you never know when they're going to come about. And I love being able to say yes, right? So I got to tell you, and maybe you saw some of my my threads. So I said yes to the life opportunity of going to Memphis last weekend, which was an amazing trip. There were 9 of us total, 9 women, hitting the mean streets of Memphis. And they are kind of mean streets. I did find out that Memphis is the third most criminal town in all of America. Woohoo! Way to go, Memphis, right? Way to put yourself on the map. So if you're from Memphis, I apologize. But I also found out about the curse of Memphis. So Memphis has this curse. They've had a lot of things. I went on this haunted tour, and there's a lot happening in Memphis, right? And you think about it. You think about Elvis and Martin Luther King Jr. and some pretty tragic things have happened in the city of Memphis. Well, then a tragedy in my own life, which really isn't a tragedy, but it was like I came home and I brought home the curse of Memphis because I ended up being positive with COVID. I'm like, yay, COVID, and people are like, COVID's still around. I'm like, yeah, it's still around, but I'm here to tell you, I tested positive on Monday and I'm up and about. I'm staying quarantined because I don't believe in, giving everybody else the curse. So, I'm staying at home, but I still am able to say yes to being able to do, different life opportunities, and enjoyed my time immensely in Memphis. And again, it's one of those things where, what are you not saying yes to? I'm such a big believer in saying yes to the get-tos, not the have-tos. And I know you know that, Barbara Ann.
Definitely. I mean, I've been switching that a lot, because that's even just in my business wise. I was so focused on my goals, I forgot to live. And so I took a step back about 6 weeks ago and went, let's reevaluate. Let's really see, are those my goals? Or is that where I want to go? And I just started living into the life that I have right now. And I realized that, oh my gosh, I've got about 80%, at least, it's probably a little bit more, of my dream life that I'm already living.
Right.
So why am I not living the 80% and let the 20% worry about itself? Why am I so focused on that 20%? It's like, enjoy where you're at right now. And like you said, stop waiting, start living. And I'm so learning how to live into that. And I'm so glad you started this fireside with that name, because it's really the reminder. I think about it even during the week, going, oh, Friday's coming. I get to see Julie. Where am I going to learn that, oh, where am I being stuck? Where am I like stopping myself from
Right.
living this dream life? And then it turns around and goes, where am I stopping my daughter, or where am I stopping my husband because of the stuff I'm doing or not doing?
Right. Well, we all do that, and I gotta laugh, Barbara Ann, because I'm seeing your background right now. Mine's a little hard to read, the Get Shit Done, but I see your BS in the background, and I'm looking at that, right? I'm like, it is such a subtle thing, and I'm like all that you have to do is look at that and be like, okay, here's a reminder, no BS in my life. Like, what am I accepting and what am I not? It's like, I don't know. There's so many things that like we just accept. And it's like, I love the fact that you evaluated and questioned, 6 weeks ago, because it is about living. And so many times we're just stuck into, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. 95% of how we operate is habits. And I know you and I are both reading the book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is an excellent book. And in order to eliminate bad habits or to bring up good habits, it's a system, right? It's a system of small incremental changes. Nothing happens overnight. So if you want to start living a larger life, like what can you do each and every day to make that happen? What tips you got for that, Barbara Ann? Like, what do you do each and every day just to kind of live a bigger life?
Oh, I got so many on that one. But here's the interesting part too. We have to remember too, when we set up a system, when we set up those habits, we have to remember they're not somebody else's habits. Because that was something that happened, because I read Atomic Habits for the first time a couple years ago. And one of the habits that I picked up was drinking water. It's like, how can I do it? Well, I've got a water bottle that automatically tracks everything. So all I have to do is open my app, it Bluetooth syncs, it's done, one button, right? Don't have to do anything else to it. And I can add, so if I'm out at a restaurant, I can add the water that I'm drinking. I can still do all that. But here's the thing, 715 days later, I have a heck of a streak, right? But here's the thing, I didn't implement everything from the book at the time because I wasn't ready for it. So now that I've read it now the second time, all of a sudden things are clicking, because now I'm really looking at what are the cues? What are the things that I'm doing that I didn't do the correct way? Because as we're making it enjoyable, because the habit has to be enjoyable. There's some things it's like, it's not an enjoyable habit for me. But it's like people told me I needed to do it. I've even had business coaches telling me I needed to stop reading so much. So I actually followed their advice and slowed down a little bit. But the weird part was it clicked in as I'm starting to reread more and do the things that I love to do. All of a sudden my creativity is like huge. But I let somebody else stop that creativity, because input, good input in equals good input out. If you're not inputting into your brain, you cannot input out good stuff. And so I let somebody else tell me what to do for a while. And I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm going to retake that power back and say, I'm going to do it my way. Because
you did it my way.
Yes, exactly. It's like, do it your way, because there are billions of people on this planet and there are billions of ways of doing things. Make yourself happy first.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head. And as you were talking about that too, something else that I read once, and gosh, what an awful coach. I hope you kick that coach to the curb pretty quick, because I have this love calling me on my
Okay,
it's calling me on my computer. I'm like, how can you be calling me on my computer? I'm like, I'm not interested in having you call me right now. I'm on doing something else. And it was like, I think it was off of I better close out my computer right now because I don't know where the heck that came from. I've never seen that before. Oh my gosh. It is like, I always have to question, is it Friday the 13th or Friday the 15th? My goodness. Maybe
it's awesome energy today. I mean, we do have a full moon tomorrow.
we do. And one of my friends told me it's a pink full moon. So I got to look up, the thing behind the pink. Anyway, so like we diverse, but that's okay because that's the point of the show. Barbara Ann, it was so funny because you texted me last night. Okay, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. I like to fly by the seat of my pants. That's the idea of stop waiting, start living. It's like, I don't want to have everything planned out. It's like whatever comes to us, because we're two brilliant women. Whatever comes to us this morning, we're just going to, talk about. And, we could have a conversation. Listen, I always tell people I could have fun in a wet paper bag, right? Like, I mean, whatever is going to come my way. But interestingly enough, you were talking about the whole idea of habits and like rewards, right? I mean, the system in there is so great because how he breaks it down, like how something becomes into a habit, right? And I always find it interesting that more people will, avoid pain than go for what is pleasurable, right? And so a lot of times habits come from the fact that you're avoiding something, right? And that's your form of reward, is that because you're avoiding. So like that's really key. I love in the book, and this is with a lot of books, that they break things down and they give you exercises. And so I'm going to take a page from like Colleen, and just be like, hey, listen, if you're not reading it and applying it, then what the hell are you reading it for, right? Especially if it's a business book. Like fiction books, that's my guilty pleasure. I love to read, my guilty pleasure. And it's not even really a guilty pleasure. I just admit it. Like I could get into a fiction book and have it done in 2 or 3 hours. Boom, done. Especially a good like crime fiction. That's what I read. I'm like, done. I don't get into the Harlequin romance. Never have, never will, right? One's like, okay, he's going to conquer her and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
You would be surprised, though, at what you can get out of those, because when you're reading an author, no matter if it's business or it's fiction or whatever it is, you're actually reading their mind. When you stop and think about it that way, you're like, some of the thoughts and the ideas that come out of some of those romances are very interesting because you're looking at the psyche of a person.
All right, so Barbara Ann, which ones have you applied at home?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you. But the biggest one is don't take people for granted.
Right.
You do. The old adage, knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is power when you apply it. And just like you said, we have to apply it. And here's the thing. People will read a book or they'll take a course or listen to a video or heck, even listen to a podcast. And they think, oh my God, I have to implement everything. We don't. We need to implement what works for us.
Right.
Because the whole system, there's no one size fits all system for anyone. There's guidelines. There's people that go, hey, this is great. We take little bits, we take little part. I just got done reading The Big Leap. Well, actually, I'm going to read the last chapter today, but I love his Einstein time versus Newtonian time. We need our own time.
I love that book. I've read that book twice. And that's one of those books that I have a tendency to read. Like I'll pick up and I'll read. I listen to it on Audible. Like anytime I'm reading, I'm always a lot of times listening on Audible. So I'm getting it in 2 different ways. Hey, Christopher, welcome to the show. Comedian. Hey, it's my friend Christopher Baker. Oh my gosh. He got on the show. How exciting. Christopher Baker is my friend from his picture's not on. And so when I looked at his profile and I saw that he's a dad and a comedian and an overthinker, I'm like, God, that sounds like my friend Christopher Robin Baker from New York. Hey!
That's me. I don't know how to use this, but I saw something pop up and I thought I'd click on it.
Awesome. I'm so excited that you're here. This is my friend Barbara Ann. Oh, I think I got, let's see, is this Melissa? Oh, Melissa Dealey's on. I'm going to invite her to the stage. So Christopher, have you used Clubhouse at all? I mean, yeah, Clubhouse.
I think I checked it out once or twice.
All right. So this is like Clubhouse. Hey, Melissa. It's so exciting to see you this morning.
Hello. Happy Good Friday, everyone. Of course, I wanted to come and see you and Barbara Ann.
Oh,
Nice
wait. Hold on. You guys missed it earlier.
Oh, you got the bunny ears. Oh, the bunny, everything.
Happy Easter!
Happy Easter.
So I was just explaining, Christopher is a really good friend of mine from New York, and he surprised me this morning by jumping on. And and so I had told him about this because he's a comedian out in New York, and I'm like, oh my God, this would be such an awesome platform for you.
Yes.
And so I, applied. I don't know, did Fireside Chat say that you're good to start a channel?
Yeah. I just need to figure out how all this works.
Woo! I'm so excited. Yay! It's pretty simple. Listen, like you just start pushing buttons and figuring out.
All right, I love it. I can push buttons.
Oh my gosh.
You can make jokes about me looking like a hunchback this morning, Christopher, because a couple nights ago I slept funny and I got a kink in my neck. So I've got this heat pad behind me under my sweater and I feel like I look like a hunchback. But the heat
very
pad
cozy.
is so good right now.
Sounds
Yeah, well,
amazing.
you're also in Canada though, and it's freezing cold, so I would just have a heat pack on all the time.
I got one behind me keeping me warm because it's cold here today too.
There you go, Barbara Ann. Although you look like you're in a t-shirt, I've still got my turtleneck on.
I am, only because it's chilly enough in here because we have the air on because I live with polar bears and I'm a lizard. So my chair, my husband got me a hot pad in there. I've got hot pads in here. I got blanket. Normally I have the lap warmer, which is the dog. I mean,
Right.
I'm like toasty and they're like happy, but I have to like figure out ways to stay
Stay warm.
so that they can be cold.
Right.
So it's fun, but
All right, Melissa and Christopher just joining us. What do you guys got going on for the weekend? For anything exciting for Easter, or don't celebrate Easter, or you're just going to hit the slopes? What do we got going on?
I'm hitting
Forgot
the
it was
slopes
Easter.
tomorrow. Go ahead, Christopher.
Oh, no, I was just saying I forgot it was Easter. Yes, we'll probably do something cute for Easter.
No, how could you forget it was Easter when I put on an Easter bunny?
I know. I just, it for some reason, it's not clicking for me. I don't know.
Is it too late in the season for you when it's this late? You kind of forget. You think it's already happened.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know that it's April. In my mind, it's still like last year. I don't know. I don't know where I am.
I get that. Time just keeps going by faster and faster, right?
It
I'm
does.
heading up skiing tomorrow, and we've planned après as well. So we're very excited about that. And it's just my husband and I. So we're not doing an Easter egg hunt this year, but I've already had my 20-year-old daughter send me a text, and she arrives home from university on April 30th. And the text said, I want an Easter egg hunt when I get home.
Aw.
All right, Melissa, I'm going to tell you, why are you not doing an Easter egg hunt? You could do a sexy one with your
Ooh.
with no kids around. Oh my gosh, the fun you could have. Like, I won't suggest it, but yes, I will. You could do like a naked one. Oh my gosh, how fun would that?
Julie is taking it up a notch. We know what's
She
happening
sure
this weekend at
is.
Julie's house.
we're
No, I
living
just-
here.
I live vicariously through everybody else.
I don't think so.
Oh gosh.
Well, maybe I'll have to do that on Sunday morning. We'll see. Steal back the Easter eggs that are sitting on my kids' pillows for when they get home. They can always be replaced, right?
That's right. That's right. Christopher, any comedy shows coming up?
I don't think I have anything this weekend. but every Wednesday we do a show, and then in a few weeks we're doing a big show at the Friars Club here in Manhattan.
Very cool. And Christopher has a podcast as well. So Melissa has a podcast show. I have a podcast show, which, and then Barbara Ann has is a guest on a lot of podcast shows. She does a daily LinkedIn video, which I love to catch every once in a while.
Wednesday, Fridays, actually.
Oh, you're just doing it Fridays? I thought you were doing it.
I don't do it daily yet.
Oh.
But that is something that's been bouncing around my head for a while, but I need to do a little topic jotting just to get some ideas down, because it's like, where's that overarching, I just don't want to willy-nilly it either. I want to how can I walk people through something so they're not going, you talked about this one day, but something else the next.
I totally get that. I have themes for my podcast. It's the only way that I can kind of feel like I know what's going on. And April's the month of inspiration. I've got some pretty amazing guests on my podcast this month. Last week is a lady that's gone from wheels to heels. Next Saturday's show is a lady that's had 2 near-death experiences. It's very cool.
Wow. Well, Christopher's is about overthinking. I've listened to some of his podcasts, and they're really awesome.
Oh,
he started podcasting a while, before I was like, okay, you know how it is, with everything in life. You want to do something, right? And you think, oh my gosh, that would be so hard to do. Like Christopher, you coming on and saying, okay, well, I got to figure this out, right? Well, that's what it felt like about podcasting. And when you released the podcast, Christopher, I was so inspired. I was like, oh my gosh, he's got a podcast. He's out there. How inspiring. That's got to be really hard to do. And then you just take action, right? You just put your foot forward and you figure it out and look, and then you're blathering on and talking on Fireside Chat. You don't know what the hell you're doing, right?
I know, it's wild. I'm trying to figure out if I can incorporate this into the podcast and do live segments or something.
Mm-hmm.
You totally can, because I was also looking at this and looking into it, Christopher, and that was one of the things that that you can do for sure. What's the name of your podcast, Christopher?
It's called Overthunk.
Overthunk. Oh, I like that.
Yep.
Check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, gonna have to
Anxiety,
check it out.
overthinking, and the pursuit of being human.
I love it. Yeah,
Me too.
I kind of see a theme there. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Because the fear is only between your 2 ears, right? It's not real.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. Yes. Let me write that. I'm taking notes. Okay. All right.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Well,
because that's one of the books I'm reading right now. I'm reading 5 different ones right now. And oh my gosh, it's interesting on how the topics our lives mesh together in ways that we don't see unless we start looking at the patterns and the rhythms that we're following. And some of them go by our habits, and some of them go by our beliefs, and some of them just go by what are we feeling today?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way, because now you got me thinking about this whole podcast thing, right? Because after I do a show, then I am able to replay it. They actually, see, this is what I like. Well, Clubhouse has started that as well. But right now, as we're talking, I am simulcasting to YouTube as well as my Facebook page.
Oh, wow.
We're live on YouTube and Facebook. And so I probably said a few things that I'm probably banned now off of Facebook. whatever, and but the great thing is that it gives you a link, and you can take this link and you can post it in a lot of different places, and you can broadcast it to the world and everything else. So I'm sure that there's a way that you can incorporate it with the podcasting.
Oh, for sure.
There's analytics. There's all kinds of really cool tools and features with this. So I'm pretty excited.
Sweet.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right.
They'll make a desktop version.
Chris, I'm going to put you on the, and
Sorry.
the great thing is,
We are on YouTube. That's so weird. Oh my God. I'm like, wanted to see how that looked. That's crazy. Okay, cool. This is cool.
That's
This is
cool. All right, Chris, I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell us I'll start with my joke, and then you can go with your joke. Okay, so this is my one joke that I always remember. All right, so a mushroom walks into a bar. The bartender says, "Hey, we don't serve mushrooms here." He goes, "Why not? I'm a fun guy."
Oh, I love it.
I like that joke, Julie.
I love it.
All right, Chris, your turn.
I'm on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, yeah. What joke do I want to tell you? Let's see. I'm on the spot. I grew up Catholic, so I learned rejection at a young age. And we had this battle axe of a kindergarten teacher. She would yell at us for coloring outside the lines. She would say, "I wouldn't feed this to my garbage can." And that's where my, I think, fear and low self-esteem set in. I mean, this woman was crazy. You have to be a pretty miserable human being, because I remember in kindergarten, we wished her dead. Do you know what an awful human you have to be for kindergartners to wish that you're dead? I don't know if this is funny. I'm just working on some Catholic school stuff. So.
Oh, I like the Catholic school. Listen. Yeah. I grew up, I went to Catholic grade school and Catholic high school. I probably have a ton of information I can give you to lead you into some really good jokes.
I also went to a Catholic school from grade 1 until grade 10. I am not Catholic. It was the international school as well in Tokyo, Japan. And I'm not going to give you any jokes because you know what? That was such an amazing experience where we studied all the religions of the world. And I actually wished that we still did that today. Instead of saying we're not going to study any religions for offending anyone, let's study them all and do it through history, because let's face it, just about every war on the planet started over religion. And
yeah,
we would just have so much more tolerance for everyone in the world.
Religion is fascinating. You know, there's a lot of miracles in Christianity and Jesus, but I think misunderstood because, you know, there's the whole water to wine thing, and people think that's the miracle. But the real miracle is once he drank, he would turn it back to water. And Jesus could drink anyone under the table. I mean, it was a dirty trick.
I love it. All right.
I like that.
Melissa and Barbara Ann, your opportunity. Any jokes that you want to leave with?
Well, I'm going to do a water joke too. And I just heard this recently from a prospective client. Actually, it was, building the rapport process. And at the end, it was a husband-wife. And at the end, the husband said, "Can I tell her one of my jokes?" to his wife. And I said, "I can take your jokes. You can tell me a joke." And so he very proudly told me this joke was, why do the Norwegian tankers have QR codes on them?
Why?
Why?
So they can be Scandinaved as they came into port.
Very clever.
But I'm bump.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. All right. Barbara Ann, what do you got?
I got nothing. I am one of those type of people that jokes do not stick. I can't remember a joke to save my rear end until somebody else tells me, and I'm like, "Oh, I remember that one." I walk into jokes, my husband and my daughter will be like, and I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, I have no clue. Don't look at me, because it doesn't stick. I actually don't even like to watch comedy in the sense of comedy movies. I love going, seeing some people in person, because that comedy is a little bit better. So Christopher, I would love to see one of your shows. I don't know. It's just something that doesn't stick. I don't know what it is, but I can't come up with a joke beyond, right now to save my rear end.
All right, hold on. We
come up with jokes.
Christopher, you can start telling people in your shows how you're saving lives with your laughter and your comedy, because the truth of the matter is that 1 minute of laughter, and your shows are probably at least 90 minutes long, 1 minute of laughter boosts the immune system for 24 hours, versus 1 minute of fear or stress or anger weakens it for 4 hours. So you're
So 1
you're doing a
minute,
lot of
24
life-saving
hours.
work out there with your comedy shows.
Oh, I love this. This is actually good. I love like working in like scientific data. So 1 minute laughter is
1 minute
24.
of laughter boosts the immune system for 24 hours.
Okay.
And
Where'd
then
you
1
look
minute of fear or anger or stress weakens it for 4 hours. I'm an integrative health practitioner, and I'm always sharing that with people because I do talks on boosting your immune system or various different, health modalities, etc., for people to be aware of and get ourselves out of that state of fear and anger and stress where we've been sunk for 2 years, many people, right? But lifting ourselves out so we can boost our immune system.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is. And there you
All
are.
right.
Like I said, your shows are probably 90 minutes. So you're giving them the next 3 months of better immune system just by showing up.
Love it.
Awesome.
That's worth
All
the
right,
price
I
of
invited
ticket
Colin
alone.
to the stage because he said he's got jokes for days. So we're going to let him give a joke and then we're going to sign off.
Hi. Yeah, thanks for having me. I just walked in. I heard the Scandinavian joke. I went, ooh, it's this kind of room today. Okay. We like jokes. Let's see. Why did the chicken cross the basketball court?
Oh, why?
Because he heard the ref was blowing fouls.
Oh, God.
Woo!
Oh, my God.
That's a good one.
That's a keeper.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh. Can you guys see me or just hear me?
I only hear you, Julie.
Okay, because I think I've got 4 speakers on stage, so you guys are all up on stage. But since we've got the I usually try to keep this like a half hour. So we're a little bit over today because we were having so much fun. It was like festive fun Friday. We were telling jokes and we were having a blast. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining this morning. Woohoo! And I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday at 8 a.m.
Yay. You guys have a fun naked Easter egg hunt.
Happy Easter, everyone.
All right, we'll talk to you later.